To Morally Corrupt, a show here on the Ringer Reality feed. A new show that now will be, if you're listening to this now, it is Tuesday. This is our first time doing this show. That
Popular
never
Rachel?
happens. No, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. Sorry, that was Andy Cohen. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Do not disturb. No, we are live. We are in person, which is so exciting, so fun. I love this studio.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't know, the colors are very calming, welcoming, warm,
Yeah.
friendly,
Yeah.
which we may or may not be on this podcast.
We're friendly towards each other.
Yeah,
We see each other.
We see each other. The voice you are hearing that I am seeking is Chelsea Stark Jones. This is the new show. Morally, what do I say? It's just Morally Corrupt Part 1, Part 2.
Morally Corrupt Extended Extra. It's going to be more of the newsy online culture that we have in the Bravo world. You'll still get your recaps on Friday, but this is like more of the gossip of Bravo.
I like it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Morally Corrupt. Emphasis on the T. Okay.
Period.
The T. Okay, so we're going to pop off with the news since we are taking that from Friday and bringing that over here, which there's so much stuff I want to talk about that it was so hard for me to not do on the last podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover that here, and then we're going to do some mini recaps. One of the shows we will be recapping Southern Hospitality. We don't recap that on. We used to. No, or maybe we never did. We never did. I don't watch the show. I did watch the first season because Callie Curry said it was so great. And it was okay. But I wasn't impressed enough to continue. And I don't say that with any type of shade. Love Leva. We have a big fan here with Chelsea.
A new fan.
A big new fan.
Yes,
a new big fan. And she is going to try to do her best to convince me to join in. But what I love, though, I'm glad we're covering it because we're leaving no stone left unturned.
Yes.
Except for Below Deck, which we all know is not for real Bravo watchers.
No, it's a casual show.
It's a casual show.
Anyone could jump into Below Deck. It's too hard to recap and discuss. Like, yeah.
And then we'll do a little fun thing at the moment since we're in our reunion era right now, where we will cover the top 3 reunion receipts moments. We will maybe do a combination of our top 3 there. As we said, this is our first episode, so we're going to jump right in. Let's jump right in with the news. Gretchen Rossi is returning to Real Housewives of OC for season 19 as a friend of the cast. And we use friend loosely because I'm expecting big things from her. So I am expecting her to be permanent after this season.
Yeah.
There's so much. If you guys aren't original OC watchers, well, first off, Liz, before we get into that, your reaction.
I called it. I said this on the podcast that I think Gretchen should come back. We need someone to be an adversary of Tamara's that is like a good one, that has a history with her and can challenge her. I'm so excited to see Gretchen. I do think, to your point, she will be more like almost like a full-time. I think the reason why she's friend of is probably because she doesn't want to show her child on camera. And maybe not a lot of Slade.
Are you talking about Slade or the baby?
Both.
Okay.
Maybe not a lot of Slade. I would like some Slade, just because he's a mess. But I think she's probably going to try to like protect the family aspect and bring the drama just with the women. So that's why I think she's a friend of, because she's not going to open the door fully to her life.
Well, we hope she does.
Yeah,
because there's a lot to cover. Like, we haven't seen Gretchen in about 14 years.
Yeah.
The last time we saw her, no, about 11 years. Last time we saw her was season 8. She's joining us for season 19. For those of you who aren't OGers, maybe jumped into OC later, totally fine. It's changed a bit. I feel like there was an era where you really could jump in and you didn't need to go back before.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little walk down memory lane. My camera's over here. I'm looking over here. Camera's over here. We're going to take new studio. Sorry. We're going to take a walk down memory lane. So if you recall, the first time we got Gretchen, we met Gretchen. She was engaged to Jeff Beatsel. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, who is no longer with us. He's passed away.
Yes.
He passed away shortly before that season premiered, but the drama surrounding it was the age difference, which I don't have the exact age difference. But he was clearly an older, dying man. And Gretchen was a young, vibrant thing.
Yeah.
She really was. And so here she comes onto the scene with this man, very much so giving us Anna Nicole Smith and the billionaire man that she was with. But she swore to us how much she loved Jeff. It was real love. Nobody was buying it. And quickly after things ended with Jeff, we met Slade, who we were familiar with because he dated Joe De La Rosa.
A true OG of the OC.
Yes.
With Vicky.
Who you might have seen pop up in this last season because she is friends with Jen's fiance, Ryan, with Ryan. They used to work together back in the
like
day.
Her boss or something, which is weird.
Yes. Yeah. So all that to say, the OC is small.
The OC is very small.
Yeah.
Look, I went back and saw Gretchen's older man thing. And he doesn't look as old as I remembered him to be.
He was sickly.
Yeah, I was like, and maybe it's just we're so desensitized to it now with all the housewives. Like, Gretchen was a true trailblazer, dating the older man that was about to die.
No, she was.
So, like, now I'm like, oh, yeah, like, I mean, we had it with Ashley and Michael Darby. Not that he's about to die, but he's older. Currently Bronwyn and her husband. Like, Gretchen was the first. I'm so excited for Gretchen to come back. She was a hot, she has a lot going with her.
Yeah. She was always bubbly and she could never really find her footing with the women. They were always triggered by her for one reason or another.
And I always hate to say it, but this time it feels like it was truly jealousy. Like, she was the younger woman. She had a lot going on. She had a lot of wealth that she didn't earn. She was into, dated, arrangement, whatever they want to call it. And it was Vicky, it was Tamara, primarily those two that really were just like out to get her. And I do think it was rooted in jealousy.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was 100% rooted in jealousy, which we all knew watching, but we appreciated the good TV we were getting, particularly the iconic moment of them all being at a dinner, them pretending to cozy up and be friendly with Gretchen, where Tamara said, quote, "We're going to get her naked, wasted," which she never really defined. She just was like, "Oh, we're gonna get her really," but it's like it speaks for itself.
Yeah, they wanted to get her in a situation which, like, now looking back on it, horrible. Yeah. In the moment as I was watching it, I was like, these women are nuts.
It was a time, and what I appreciate, shout out to Alex Baskin, is for getting it right with OC, because these last few seasons they've really been getting it right. We know that what's Jesus Jugs' name? I can't think
Alexis.
Alexis. We know Alexis is gone. We know that storyline is dead and that drama can't continue. So you're like, okay, well, where do we go from here? You go back to the archives and you give us somebody who is controversial. You either like Gretchen or you don't. And we don't know where the women stand with her. We haven't been able, even if you're following her on social media, yes, you know she's engaged to Slade. They're still not married.
Which is wild to me. I did not realize that.
And so we want her to explain that. Yeah. We want to know where Slade is at this point. Is he working? Does he have a job?
Is he still in touch with his other kids?
Is he still in touch with his other kids? Yes. They have a child together. Whether we see the child or not, she can at least talk around the child. So there's so much there to uncover for, like, to your point, for her to just even be a friend. So I love the addition of Gretchen. I'm so glad she said yes. I would imagine that they've been asking her to come back for a while.
I would think so, but I do think, like, I truly feel her turning, like, things away would have to do with, because they came so hard for her and Slade. Like, that was, like, Vicky and Tamara. That was remember that, like, 80s party when Vicky was just, like, yelling at him, calling him a deadbeat dad? Or like, so I could see them trying to bring her back and her being like, I can't with these women going after my relationship. And so now this seems like the right time. And it is smart with what Alex Baskin and the producers are doing. Bringing back someone who has a history with this group. Like, this 19 seasons, this is going to be the 19th season. Like, there's so much richness to it. Just, like, randomly bringing on someone, it might not work. So I do like that they're, like, bringing back controversial, interesting cast members from the past. And they tried to do that with Lydia a few seasons ago.
Lydia was always a dud.
Yeah.
She and that magazine.
Yes. So, like, I'm glad that they're actually pulling back into who were fan favorites, but who were interesting and who are still interesting. Gretchen and her face tuning. Like, have you like gone on her Instagram?
No.
Oh, she's a face tune like
Doesn't surprise me.
One-on-one. Like,
is she still wearing her hair like helmet-y?
Yeah,
in that
pageant.
way?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, I don't want to peek on her social media because I want to get her
You want to be
fresh.
fresh.
Yes, very much so. Predictions for Gretchen coming in. How do you think she will? Because we don't know if she knows any of the other women. We know she'll know Heather. We know that she will know Tamara. But how do you think, taking them out, how do you think she'll fare with the other women?
I think she is friendly with Shannon.
Okay.
And I do believe she is friendly with the other newer women, just like in social OC setting. I think that she is going to go in with a sole objective to ruffle Tamara's
You
feathers.
think so?
Yeah, I think that that's going to be like, 'cause they haven't spoken, to my understanding, since.
Yeah, I think Tamara said that.
Yeah, so for a very long time. So I think she's going to come in with a chip on her shoulder, knowing what the fans want, that we want her to bring Tamara down a peg, make her uncomfortable, put her on edge. And I think she's going to do that. That's my guess, is she's going to challenge Tamara a little bit, call her out on her shit, and try to stay as clean as possible, so that things don't come back at her. But I think that's going to be her role.
Well, I think I agree with you. I think she will clash with Emily. I don't know why.
Oh, I can see that.
Emily and Tamara have been buddy up, and so if she does come from Tamara, I could just see. I think Emily's going to come in with some preconceived notions about Gretchen, and if there's anyone, I see that.
I see that.
Or I see her, Gina and Gretchen getting close, and Emily being a little jealous. Emily's the one.
I agree with that.
But the energy I hope that she comes in with is, you guys were so critical of my life. You questioned my relationship with Slade. We may not be married, but I'm still with Slade. You know, where is Simon? Where was it Dawn?
Yeah.
Where's Brooks? Where's, her relationship, even though they haven't made it official as far as marriage, or maybe they have. Maybe she'll reveal that.
Maybe they just,
they figured it out.
Yeah.
They have figured it out. And maybe stepping away for 11 seasons probably saved their relationship,
for
to
sure.
be honest with you.
I think it brings sanity to a lot of people as well.
That's how I'd come in. If I'm Gretchen, I'm wearing my engagement ring. I'm wearing Slade on my arm as arm candy. And you know what I mean? Like, we're still here.
Yeah.
You know?
Very like Heidi and Spencer-esque from like The Hills.
Yeah.
Where people like hated them and never thought they would work out.
Never thought they would.
And here they are, two kids, strong.
Yeah. Okay. Can't wait for more updates on that. Do we know when they start filming?
I would think soon.
It's
like
gotta
last season, it started around the new year, so I would think soon.
Great. Get a camera in Gretchen's face now.
Yes.
Stat. Let's move over to what's going on between. I was gonna say Bravo World. It's all Bravo World, but out of Housewives into the Paige and Craig and now Austin. It seems like every week there's a new a person trying to insert themselves into what was that relationship, give their opinion. I get it. So on an episode of Watch What Happens Live last week, a viewer asked Austin what he thought about the rumors that Paige was dating another guy. And he basically said the rumors they're not rumors. He said it's true. Everybody knows that it's true, which, just to remind everybody, Paige is single. So who cares if she's dating someone? We don't know when she and Craig officially broke up. You don't know. They always say when a woman, I'm speculating that it was Paige who called it off. It seems that way.
Yeah.
But they say when a woman is done, she's been done for a while. So it doesn't matter how quickly or not quickly she jumps into dating a guy. And she's jumped in before and said, hey, I'm outside. You're going to see a lot of me. But basically, Paige commented, which we're seeing a lot of, on an IG post. And she said, yes, a man I haven't spoken to in 6 months knows exactly what I'm doing. Your thoughts?
I like an activated Paige. I like that we're
do.
seeing her come to her own defense and doing all of this. I do like that. I also don't know why I have a soft spot for Craig, because I actually find him to be pretty insufferable on the season of Southern Charm.
Yeah.
But there's something, I don't know, like, yeah, we don't know when they broke up. I had a feeling that it was far before she announced it on Giggly Squad. I don't love the discourse of like people getting upset with Craig for his, what was it, his like Instagram story video where he was in his chunky sweater, like all sad on his porch, saying he was blindsided, and people upset with him about that. When like Paige went on her podcast and monetized off of it and said and
Yeah.
announced the breakup. So I feel like Craig could have done whatever he wanted to and shared his part of the story. I will say the guy that she's dating, there are red flags, or supposedly dating, allegedly dating,
He's
whatever.
not cute.
He's also not
We
attractive.
gotta say it. We have to say
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. He's not
I'm
good looking.
shocked.
Shocked.
But he seems to be powerful and on the scene and connected. It's the opposite of Craig.
Complete opposite of Craig.
Yeah, she wants to have fun. He's a fun guy is what it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's for a fun time, not a long time. I don't know. I see her out in the streets with like some New Yorker that's like very handsome and charming, like businessy. And I guess this guy is businessy, but like just, yeah, his looks don't match Paige for me.
I kept searching for more pictures. I was like, maybe I'm getting it wrong.
Oh, no,
maybe I'm
you're
missing
not.
something.
No.
It just got worse.
He's not good looking at
I'm
all.
sorry.
No, I don't blame you. I feel the same way. Thank you for saying it.
Yeah, somebody had to.
No. Look, maybe Austin's out of line for saying what he said, but I do believe there's some truth in like what he said. Like he is still Craig's friend. I don't think he would say anything out of turn if Craig didn't want him to.
But like we've seen Paige at a football game with this man.
Yeah, and
we've seen her on a date.
Yeah.
It wasn't like hot shit for him to be like, yeah, the rumors are true. It's like I would have rather him say, yeah, she was dating while they were still together. Like, give me that tea.
Yeah,
if that's the
let's
case.
go there. You know, and I watched this interview or a clip of an interview with Amanda and Kyle, who seems like it really upset Paige and the Summer House gang, Craig's like Instagram story thing, and like that he didn't come to Paige's defense about the cheating rumors, which I never like. I saw the rumors. I never thought they were true. Like I didn't think that people were actually like believing that she cheated on him.
I'm sure they are. You know, a lot of times, and if this was higher learning, they'd be like, of course Rachel's saying this. A lot of times there's a lot of grace given to, especially in reality TV world, there's a lot of grace given to the man unless he's just a complete scumbag and not the woman. And Craig does come across as like this Southern guy who just wants a quiet life and to settle down and is just waiting like a sad puppy for his girlfriend to come home, like waiting at the door for her to come home. Yeah. That's what it gives. And I do think some of that is true. But you also know the woman that you're with.
Yeah.
And Paige has always been this way. She wants to stay in New York. She wants a fast lifestyle. Yeah. She's fashion. She's front of camera. Yeah. She's
and her career
moving and shaking.
Growing.
She's on tour.
Yeah.
And I think he was happy for her, but also there were things that he wanted for himself. And the two things weren't going to match up. Having gone through a public breakup, I understand why Paige wants to respond to everything. I understand why whatever the interview was that you saw that you're referencing, where she said she might have been hurt, because I do think Craig is playing. I said all that to say about the sad puppy that Craig is playing into that image and he's aware of that. And he's probably stretching the truth. I know for a fact lies were said about me in the public Instagram post. Like it is so far from the truth that I can't wait to get into that. It's like I can understand that there's some truth, but not all truth in it. And maybe you could say the same thing for her and what she said on the podcast. Even though she didn't dive into it, she didn't really give too much. She just acknowledged it.
She acknowledged that it happened. She
praised him.
And she did. She talked very positively about him, said she would never say a bad thing about him, which I still think she hasn't.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I also saw like on Reddit threads that
I love it. I love it.
That allegedly both Southern Charm and Summer House picked up cameras to show both sides of said breakup. So I think we might see at the end of Southern Charm this season, Craig's reaction. It's rumored to be a scene with him, Shep, and Austin. And then for Summer House, it's rumored to be a scene with Amanda, Paige, and Sierra.
Yeah.
So, would love to see both sides of the Kiki. Yeah. Oh, yes. Please do.
I can't say no. No, I will never betray a friend. I just, for my own personal knowledge and off mic.
We can talk about off mic.
Yes, I want to know.
But yeah, you know what? Because Sierra, I think, spent like Thanksgiving or something with Craig.
Who did?
I think Sierra did.
Just her and Craig?
I think she was. I saw something. They were spending a holiday. I don't think Paige was there.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I could be misremembering this like completely incorrectly. But I'm almost positive that like, because people were like, are Craig and Paige together? And then they saw Sierra with Craig on like Instagram, and they're like, oh, no, of course they're together because he's with Sierra, and like, why would he be with Sierra if he wasn't with Paige? I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if I'm making this up, but
I hope Sierra wasn't like with Austin or something like that. She would never. No, she would never.
And he has.
She would never.
His passive girlfriend. What's her
name? The one who. What was the quote? He's
Pookie,
like.
He calls
I
her?
mean, she's pretty much will do. How did he say it? He said, not do anything. She's like, she's pretty much down for whatever.
Yeah. Her.
The way he said
down
it.
For whatever,
like,
girlfriend.
It was like it seemed like that's why he liked her.
Yeah.
I will say I think Paige should stop being so active in responding.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like sometimes less is more.
Yeah,
you're outside, live your life.
Mm-hmm.
There is a what's the word I'm trying to say? There's a newness. It re-energizes you after a breakup and like you don't have to really answer anyone and you can be free and not it's live in that space and not in the comments. That would I don't like that she keeps responding to stuff.
Yeah, not everything needs to be answered.
Yeah, like it's Austin. We got it. Nobody was really like holding on.
Yeah, grain of salt.
To that much. To your point, I was going to say when you said you have a soft spot for Craig, even though he's insufferable this season. You know what it is? Because I think Craig wants all the things he says, but I think it's rooted in Paige. And it's sad to me to watch him doubling down on certain things.
Yeah.
Because he's building this life around Paige.
Yeah.
And if they weren't together, I think it would be different.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he's standing on business.
Yeah.
Because of his relationship with Paige.
And I think he definitely had false pretense. I don't know. Like, I don't think he was. It's hard for him to say he was blindsided by it when, like, we're watching this season. She very clearly is not ready for the life that he wants to live. And so for him to be, like, saying he's blindsided, it kind of...
I think the timing is what blindsided. Like, for example, we had agreed for a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it was filed we did not agree on. So I was blindsided by that filing.
That makes sense.
And it's not that I didn't want a divorce. It's just, this is not what we discussed. So it could have been he didn't know that she was going to be on Giggly Squad and do it. It could be that he wasn't ready they had an argument and maybe she came back and was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. It's a circular argument and he was still had some fight in him.
And thinking that we could make it work. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I'm excited to see how the rest of it plays out. I think, like Lindsay, I think Craig will be married in a year. Like, engaged, Southern girl. I think he will be ready to settle down and have someone soon. And he's already on the apps. He's already on the dating apps. A lot of
people are on the apps.
You know, well, he's already put his hat back in there. So.
A lot of people are rooting for him to date Rachel
Kirkconnell.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd be cute.
I think they'd be cute too.
And she seems to want what he wants. So
that's fine. Craig, if you jump into a relationship again, good for you. Mm-hmm. If you're on the dating apps, good for you. The one thing I don't think you should do is take advice from Miss Colonial herself.
Oh.
Like, you know how I feel about Miss Patricia.
No advice from Miss Patricia.
Calling Paige a super bitch. Like, I think I saw Andy post something, and it's like, it's such a colonial mindset. It's a colonial way of thinking. Of course it's the woman's fault. Of course Paige is the bitch in all of this. As if it doesn't take two for a relationship to end.
Not work. You know, I was surprised to hear Miss Pat say that because she seemed to have really liked Paige. I would not call Paige a bitch. I found Paige was mean to Craig. Like, I thought, similar to Naomi, Paige was kind of mean to him, and mean in the sense of like
He likes it.
he does like it. He's kind of sadistic like that. But I think it was very obvious he wanted to be in a relationship. He wanted to get married, and like he should have left this relationship a year ago. Like realistically, like they both should have called it about a year ago.
Probably, if not sooner. A correction, Miss Pat Colonial called herself a super bitch, not Paige. She's called Paige mean. You had it right.
Yeah,
she said Paige was mean. But still, again, she didn't say bitch, but my point still stands of like, if she was mean, Craig, she was mean from day one.
Yeah,
Craig
she didn't change.
That.
She never changed.
That's not why they broke up. They didn't break up because Paige is mean.
No, they just want two different things out of life, which is okay. But you can want two different things out of life. It's okay.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Also, Jesse Solomon, get the fuck out of here.
No,
you are
so
a friend
unserious.
of the podcast, but like,
so unserious. No. We don't want that.
No. I'm gonna look into every camera and say that. It's not. I don't want to see it. It's like you and like. I was just, come on, Jess. Paige is not talking to me.
No.
If you did it for the plot, if you did it for, to get people into the next season of Summer House, cute. We got it.
And Jesse is like known to make ridiculous Instagram comments. Like last season, he was like flirting with Amanda on Instagram. Yeah. So like, I pay him no mind.
No, and isn't it alleged that he brings somebody into the house this summer?
Oh, he has like a romance, in-house romance with some new cast member. Yeah.
Oh, there's two new cast members.
I know there's one girl.
Okay.
And who he has a thing with, and there might be two new guys or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's a lot. Now I don't like that. I don't like the overload.
I know there's at least one new guy.
I don't like the overload of people. Speaking of that moves us into the next topic. We got the trailer for Real Housewives of Atlanta, highly anticipated. A lot of changes going over there in that franchise. Old faces coming back. I say old with love. Seasoned faces. A lot of new faces, more than I thought. As I was watching the trailer, I was like, who? What? Mm-hmm. Huh? I don't like overload, right? I don't want to, unless it's like a Roni where I know everybody's new. Yeah. So thank God we're getting some of the staples back. Portia, Cynthia is a friend of. Phaedra comes mid-season. I like that. Now, I will tell you, though, I don't have high hopes for Atlanta. It was kind of like, okay, there's just so much going on over there. However, when I watched the trailer, I'm interested.
Are you?
I am interested.
Wow.
I don't know if it's going to be just exciting, but it made me say, I'm kind of ready to know some of the new women. I'm excited to catch up with some of the old faces. What did you think?
I was bored. I was very bored. Okay. It felt all over the place.
It did. It was chaotic.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know. I was excited to see some Shamia.
Love that Shamia's a housewife.
Yeah, and I think that has been a long time coming.
Let's hope she doesn't Marlo Hampton it.
Please do not ruin your peach, Shamia. I was excited to see her. I was interested. They did show Kenya. It seems like they did show the scene in which everything transpired that ultimately ended in her leaving. So I'm happy they're not cutting around that and they're showing it so we could judge for ourselves. But yeah, we have 3 newbies: Brittany, Kelly, Angela. They seem interesting. And also we have Drew back, which she seemed to not really give anything throughout the trailer, and she is her stuff with what's
Dennis?
His face? Well, Dennis, but her ex, Rob, what's her husband?
What was his name? I want to give him a Reggie. It's not.
It was
Ralph. Oh, you can never trust a Ralph.
Good old Ralph. Didn't you have an uncle named Ralph?
Yes. Yeah. Love you, Uncle Ralph.
Yeah. I was expecting to see more of that because we ended last season with her singing that song and like thinking that we're gonna get a little bit more about her divorce. Yeah, but
he might have a gag order on her.
He would do that.
Yeah, he would.
He would
if I can't be in the scene, don't speak my name.
Don't talk about me. Yeah, that makes sense.
The one thing I will say is I was hoping to get Ralph. I want the drama from that.
I want to know.
We were subjected to it for such a long time.
Yeah.
Like, come on, give us
me all
what
the
we
tea.
want.
Yeah.
But what's always bothered me with Drew is everything seems so produced.
It's very curated.
And so the fact that she's like, oh, I hired Dennis. Doesn't Dennis sell hot dogs? I was confused as to, unless she's writing a song about a wiener, or buns, I'm not understanding the Dennis of it all, other than you want to create some drama. And I don't think Portia cares.
No.
Portia doesn't want Dennis.
She doesn't want him. She doesn't want him. Her divorce will be fascinating to see how much she lets us in on that. But overall, like, I think there are like bits and pieces of the season that'll be interesting to me. I don't know if it's going to be a consistently good season, which Atlanta hasn't had that in ages.
Yeah, I don't know the last time. My hope is that once we get to the Kenya of it all, with her doing the putting up the poster of the new housewife Brittany allegedly performing oral sex, I'm hoping that doesn't become the entire storyline.
Yeah.
And it may not, because I think Phaedra comes after that.
Phaedra comes, and then just like by removing Kenya, I think that allows it to open up the doors to other things. So we'll see. I don't know if I love Cynthia coming back on the show.
Just to sprinkle in.
Yeah.
There's got to be a connection between, Portia's doesn't know these people. We don't know what a relationship with Drew is. Like, Cynthia kind of is like the
thread.
The middle. Yeah, the thread.
Yeah.
Now, Phaedra, don't come back with this Married to Madison energy. Come in with the Phaedra who left us, minus the candy scandals. Yeah. That's what we want to see. Bring that energy. Okay, last thing, really quickly. Wondering your thoughts about this. I guess I didn't even realize this, that Andy's been criticized for asking Jessel about what kind of work she's had done. And we know that that's a regular talking point.
Yeah.
And Andy defended it by saying it's the number one question viewers want to know. And I love the transparency. And to be honest, it's something that I want to know.
Yeah.
If he's not criticizing them for it, he's saying, you look amazing. Did you do anything? And then people want to know, like, I kind of like, when I'm in New York, Jessel looks fantastic.
Jessel looks great. Her season 1 to 2 transformation, amazing. I don't know why people are so up in arms about it. Maybe it's just like the ultra feminist side of things, but it's like, we watch Housewives to see what they do. We like going to see their procedures. We like a good plastic surgery storyline. So tell us, what'd you do? Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, like, who are these people complaining? Like, I'm think that's a smaller group. They're just very loud. And
I think too, I do see people often get upset with Andy for asking this question. I think with this situation with Jessel was that she was giving him pieces at a time, and it was him really having to like pull it out. So people may be thinking that maybe she didn't want to share everything she had done.
That's
but
a good point.
But also it was just like Jessel kind of being Jessel. Like, it was funny and just like ridiculous. And
Auntie, I was going to get that.
He's
just
like,
give me a couple more.
Yeah, I was like, no, you said it with a period. Like, there was no comma, it was period.
Yeah,
like, what
no
more were you?
Yeah, like it was done.
Yeah, so I think that might be where some of it came from. But honestly, that was a funny part of that reunion.
Yeah, it was.
Was laughing.
And I even liked Bryn, like, Jessel, come on.
I introduced you.
Don't make me say it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bryn ruins it. You went running out the door insinuating that Jessel didn't pay. It's like, we should have talked about that last time.
She didn't pay. She posted, which is a form of currency.
But Bryn was like, you ran out the door insinuating she didn't. And once again, to Jessel's point, you keep kicking me when you still haven't learned.
Twisting truths.
You still haven't.
No.
Oh, Bryn, womp. Next. All right, let's jump into some mini recaps, maybe some highlights from Beverly Hills, since we didn't cover it on Friday's podcast.
We put the PK text to bed, I think. That's the highlight.
How long do you think that their friendship's going to last?
Oh, I think it's already over. Like, Dorit was a guest on when Bose was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was like kind of acting as if she's mad at Kyle again. So I think it'll last for the rest of the season. But now that they're rewatching, I think it's done.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So
Yeah.
like that's the kicker. That's why I couldn't be on these shows.
No.
It's like you think you've made amends and then you watch and you're like,
You said what?
and I'm sure these women forget what they say. And in Bachelor, we did ITMs, and I would always, I'd be like, I said that?
Yeah.
Or I'd say, I hope that doesn't come out.
I mean, they forget what they say in the season.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So they're
For
definitely,
sure.
yeah, I don't think they're friends right now.
Well,
But I do think the mid-season trailer did give some promise. I do like that it seems like they are turning on Sutton. We're calling Sutton out for being a shit stir, as being Sutton. Gosh, her moment when they were meeting at whose house were they at? Jennifer Tilly's or whoever's house. And
oh my gosh.
And Dorit was talking about Jagger, and the way Sutton interrupted her was I was surprised no one said anything in the moment. Like, that was wild to me.
You know what it made me realize? I too was surprised at first, and then all of a sudden I was like, this is Sutton, and they know it. And Erica kind of alludes to it, and it'll do more damage to call her out than just to recognize, than just realizing this is what Sutton does this, and this is never going to change. But I mean, what a huge moment, because even later when they're on the beach and Garcelle, like Bose says it to Garcelle, and Garcelle's response, it's like, these women can relate. I know Garcelle wasn't in the room when Dorit originally said it, but it's like Garcelle taking the time to realize the moment. I almost wish she would have been there, because she might have said something to Sutton.
Yeah, because that was like, I was like, oh, like, that was
jarring.
mean.
And Dorit handled the response to Jagger so well.
Yeah.
But I also don't know, and I think it was Eric who was saying this, like, why in this day and age do you think that you can hide your children? It was so big. It was everywhere. You put it on social media. Of course, some kid at school. Oh, wait, they're homeschooled.
He's homeschooled, so that's what I was trying to...
Homeschools have communities.
I guess. Like, yeah, that was one of the things where I'm like, how did he see that? I mean, I don't know.
You think she lied?
No, I don't think
you think Chelsea thinks she lied. Chelsea thinks she made up that whole thing.
I know. I think it truly happened, but it's just, I don't know. I guess kids are in a different age where I didn't have an iPad growing up, so I didn't see anything.
I didn't have that either. But he probably does Google his parents' name.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I hope she didn't make it up. Now, I don't know. Chelsea might have convinced me. Chelsea convinced me. All right. So, then we just see the women go to the beach and, have a fun. There's something about the water. Even when they had Kathy's day at the beach, they had a good time.
Yeah. It seemed like a nice day. Nice day. Nice time. No major fights. Kyle, Dorit buried the hatchet. We're going to be able to move on, I hope, for the rest of the season with them too. And then... yeah, it was a fine episode.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a nice palate cleanser, because I think we had all been fed enough of the Dorit Kyle drama. Let's give us the rest of the season off, and we can pick back up at the reunion.
Yeah,
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay, we agree. Before we get into Southern hospitality, let's talk a little bit about Southern chaos. Not
non-chaos.
Not a crazy amount of stuff going on. I think two wild things to me that stood out. The fact that I don't know if Shep is serious or not about... Actually, I know he is, because when I was around Shep, he told me about this girl.
Oh, yeah, you did see him at the Miami thing.
Yeah, so I do think in that conversation, we see him with Austin saying, like, she hasn't responded, and he says he loves her.
So weird.
And she put that thing on him. She put that eyelid. Like, she's a beautiful woman, but I think he hasn't been with a woman like her before.
No, this is new for sure.
And and island women too are just like, there's such a carefree nature about them,
which like goes with who
which
he
is very attractive.
Yeah,
like he was sprung.
He was mesmerized.
Sprung, and he definitely mentioned her to me. So he definitely, I believe his feelings here as he's talking.
Yeah,
talking to Austin, and Austin, he is right. Austin gave him terrible advice.
Bad.
And it's like, why would you believe Austin?
Play hard to get, like, what did he say? Just ignore her? Like, no.
He's like, yeah, don't do that. It's like,
don't go running to her. Like, shut up, Austin.
Like, this is where we play Madison. Like,
his best moment on television.
Do not listen to Austin. Go to Craig. And then the other shocking thing was Vanita. Honey,
Yeah.
between the pool incident and JT, are we okay?
She's losing it. She's spiraling after she broke up
We
with
gotta get her
homeboy.
out of. We gotta get her out of there.
Yeah, no, that was I mean, she did fix a nice meal. That looked very lovely. That looked very lovely. He was so undeserving of it. I was surprised. I knew he had a girlfriend.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, I knew he had a girlfriend now, but I didn't know it happened like during filming. Like I thought it was something that he did to her after the fact, after cameras dropped or something. So I thought this whole season he was gonna like play her and string her along and then say like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend." So it surprised me that this happened currently. And she's right. Like if I'm his girlfriend and I'm seeing how you were talking to Vanita and flirting with her and I love you on the side of the street and stuff like that. Like, goodbye, sir.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend last week.
Yeah.
He might not have a girlfriend this week.
No. He shouldn't.
And I mean,
and when he came in and said, "My mom loves you," like she mentioned, like Mary, like, no, no.
Jay, I'll tell you what's happened. It's a classic case of the reality TV man. The fans of reality TV really big up these men. You know, I've seen it happen in Bachelor Nation and they don't know how to handle it. Because I'll speak to Bachelor Nation, and this can apply to JT. I mean, JT's shorter than the other men. And I'm not saying, like, he's a short king. He's a short king. I say this with love. He's not attractive to me, but
he's not bad looking.
But clearly the women like him, and I just think he's getting attention in a way that he never had. That's my point. He's getting attention in a way that he never has before. I see it happen all the time with Bachelor Nation. You automatically overnight become the coolest guy in school, in
especially
town,
because he went after Austin, who everyone hated at the moment. Yeah,
and that's what happens, and you never have before. So you're getting all this attention. JT's feeling himself.
Yeah,
tight shirts. Lost some weight, 2 girls going at him back to back. He got caught up. He got lost in it. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying he got lost in the sauce. He started feeling himself. And he took it too far with Vanita. Now, he'll probably lie. This is total speculation. Probably lie to his girlfriend and say, I was doing it for the plot. I was doing it for... And she'll probably believe him. But either way it goes, I feel so sorry for Vanita in this moment. She put herself out there. I feel like we don't know that much about Vanita personally.
Yeah.
We see her with other friends. We know that she's into fashion. She's into hosting. We just got inside of, her house. I don't even think we were the first season. It's her first season. And so, yeah, like we don't know that much. And so for her to put herself out there, it was sad.
It was sad. I didn't like that for her.
And from JT.
Like, and to be, yes, for it to happen to be JT, like not a catch. Like, it was sad. But I hope my girl bounces back. I hope
she needs to bounce out of there. Okay? Bounce to Charlotte. Bounce to, like, Nashville. I'm trying to keep you in the area, try to keep you close. You have to bounce to Atlanta. But we gotta bounce her out of there.
We gotta bounce her out. I love her little house though. It's so cute.
No, it's super cute. She can
find a cute house somewhere else, elsewhere. Okay, okay.
No, it's just like commute, Yeah. A little out of town boyfriend. I'm gonna text Shep and say, hook Vanita up with someone.
I know. Get her a nice little love interest.
Yeah.
It's hard to date in Charleston, they say.
I see. There's a lot of crossover there. All right. So I guess we're going to stay here in Charleston. And I didn't even know, as I'm looking at the notes, we were on season 3.
Oh my God, Rachel.
Of Southern Hospitality, apparently called Soho. That's how it is in the notes. I didn't know that's what we were calling
That's what
it.
the kids call it in the streets. Rach, you have to get on board. So I started watching it this weekend, or you were sick. You were sick on Friday, right? Or
I was sick all last week, and I got into Traitors.
Okay, so I saw you post about Traitors, and as you were watching Traitors, I was watching Southern Hospitality. And I almost messaged you and said, turn on Southern Hospitality, but I wanted you to stay on that Traitors train. I respect your journey, and so I finished
it. It was a great season.
Yes. So good for now. You have time for Southern Hospitality. There's only 5 episodes in this current season. You can jump in now. You don't have to rewatch anything. These people, what you want from Southern Charm right now, you will get from Southern Hospitality. They are chaotic. They make no sense. They're irrational. There's day drinking, night drinking, inappropriate work relationships. It is almost Vanderpump-like in the early seasons. We are living in apartments. We are doing long distance dating. We are not making any sense. We are delusional. Like, it is so fun. And I will say what Vanderpump didn't have that Southern Hospitality does have is a truly diverse cast. We have gay relationships, we have gay dating, we have people of color, we have a good mix of men and women.
Okay.
It is actually such a fun show. So, over last weekend, I watched the first 4 episodes, so I was caught up. Then I watched episode 5 this past week. Like, it's cheating rumors. Like, it's a girl not believing the cheating rumors, even though everyone around town is telling her. Like, it's so good. It's a really fun watch.
So you binge 1 through 3.
So I watched episodes 1 through 4 of season 3.
Have you seen season 1?
I started back and I'm watching season 1 now. I think I'm on episode 4 or 5 of season 1.
Okay. And I binged it. I waited till it was over and I watched it. It just seemed, and maybe they found their footing in season 2 and 3. I didn't believe any of it.
Okay. I feel like maybe because I went back since I've watched season 3 and I went back to watch season 1, I'm a lot more invested in these people than I was because I did watch the first episode of the first season. And I was like, these people are weird. So I understand the hesitation. I do. But I do think they hit their groove. It is also a different side of Charleston that we're not seeing on Southern Charm.
Okay.
We're seeing different restaurants, nightlife, different activities that they're doing and stuff like that. They have this new cast member. Her name is Lake.
I love that name for a girl.
Beautiful, and she's named Lake because her parents conceived her at their lake home, and
too much.
But like I love, and she's from a Black family talking about her generational wealth. It's just like so interesting and so fun, and these people are just like they're crazy. And Emmy is straight delusion. She was in season 1, if you recall. She was the one that was dating a guy named Will.
Is she the DJ?
No, that's Maddie. Maddie is now dating the guy that slept with Luann.
Joe?
Yes. They're dating.
Have you ever seen the new Fame?
I didn't watch
Fame movie?
No.
He reminds me of the main guy there. There's something that makes me uncomfortable about him.
Oh, what is it?
The way he acts, his mannerisms. I only seen season 1. No, not that, because if you're referencing something, I did see the preview of his good friend telling him he was in love with him.
Yeah.
And then Joe retelling the story of how they snuggled.
Yeah.
With his arm around him in the bed.
Yeah. It's a lot.
But I will say that kind of, my antennas kind of went up for that one.
Which also with like this friend TJ, who is a mess, but like is fascinating hearing how he struggles to date in Charleston as a gay man and like how he wants to find it. So there's just like there's a little bit of like deepness to it, but a lot of just ratchetness, a lot of craziness. I highly recommend. Just watch season 3. You don't have to rewatch season 2. Just get it. Just like dip your toe in it. But Emmy is like by far she's the most like interesting and like insane person because Will does not like her and he's telling everyone around town and she don't want to hear it.
Why isn't he telling her?
She says he told her. So basically, he is in law school somewhere else. So now they're doing long distance when he's in school. He comes back during the summer. He gets drunk. He goes to Republic, tells all of her friends and the people that are working at the bar she's off that night that he can't stand her. He doesn't see himself being with her long term. She works out too much. She's too anorexic now. She's unattracted to her. All these horrible things about her.
Let me look her up.
She looks great. She does work out a lot. And then people are uncomfortable because they're like, we're friends with Emmy. Like, why are you saying all this stuff about her when she's your girlfriend? And supposedly he tells her these things, but he tells her in the very watered down version of like, I was just venting. I was really upset and just like really stressed and overwhelmed. But then like there was another instance where he went out on town and like was saying horrible things about her too. And so she's coming to his defense and saying, you guys are just attacking Will. You don't want to see us happy, blah, blah, blah. And so
I've never seen her. I don't remember her.
She
in the
She
first season.
she did lose a lot of weight. So she looks similar, but like you could tell that she lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I don't. Oh wow. I don't remember her. I'm looking at a picture. She's very tiny.
Mm-hmm.
He looks kind of familiar. He was on the first season.
He was on the first season.
He kind of looks familiar, but yeah. You know what I remember? I remember being at BravoCon and getting on the elevator with some of them.
The Southern Hospitality people. Mm-hmm.
And they were upset because they were treating them like stepchildren.
Yeah.
And like they weren't getting in. They only had one season, maybe second season was just airing. Maybe it hadn't. But they were like not invited to some of the nighttime stuff.
Aww.
And I was like just like listening. I was just like listening on the elevator, and I was like, huh. It was she's brown hair.
Was it Maddie, the DJ?
I know who Maddie was because I didn't recognize her as Maddie when she was on the elevator with me. It was Vegas. So I literally thought she had partied all night and was doing a walk of shame.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
because she looked like it in her face or her hair, but her outfit. And then she was walking to the suite to be taken over to the main stage. And I was like, oh, she's talent. But she was dressed very 2000s, which I know is in with the kids.
It's also Charles. Like,
no, this was another brown-haired girl.
Okay. Another thing that I like about it is that Leva's rarely involved. At least in this season, we're not getting a lot of Leva, which I think with Vanderpump, it was like we're inserting Lisa Vanderpump into the story when it doesn't make sense. Like, Leva very much is like, she pops in when it's necessary, when it makes sense, and she pops right back out. Like, she does not, like, over-insert herself into the show, which I find to be great.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
I thought I could sell you.
I'm not convinced, but
I'll keep you abreast.
I got half an antenna up.
I'll keep you abreast. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I need nothing to be going on for me, and then maybe I'll binge it.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
You'll get sick again. I'll just remind you to turn it on.
All right. Okay, well, as we promised, before we jet out of here, we hope you guys have enjoyed the new show, Morally Corrupt, emphasis on the T. We're going to do a little, not a game, but just like in honor of the fact that, we're in the middle of the New York reunion. We're in the middle, which, I cannot wait. Oh, for a second, I was like, it's Tuesday. No, you guys are listening to this on a Tuesday. We're in the middle of the Salt Lake City reunion, and they're great. All of this is great. We thought it would be fun to do our top 3 reunion receipts moments, because we ended Salt Lake City where Meredith, which I loved this moment, by the way.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Because I agree with her, and I'm not a Meredith apologist, but I agree with her a little bit. Meredith says, I've been called everything, or she basically said she wasn't mad at Mary for making fun of her bangs, because that is nothing compared to all the things that she has been named. And then she pulls out her phone and reads it, and they're making jokes. Oh, she's got a scroll. Oh, it's a dossier, I think is what Heather says, always throwing out a big word. And then she's like, no, but this is the truth. And I appreciated it because it did. She's not wrong. She's been called a lot.
She's called people a lot too, which they also, the producers also reminded us of.
She also looks for a moment, though, to be a lawyer, and I understand that sentiment as well.
I forget. You guys have that in common.
Yes. So, top 3, and I'm sure we have crossover, so maybe we can combine our top 3. But your top 3, in no particular order, reunion receipts moments, because it's becoming a staple as much as it is to hold whatever symbol represents your franchise in the opening. To close your season, it is necessary that at least one person on the couch brings receipts in some form or fashion. A poster board, a text message, a screenshot, notes, people, inanimate objects. There's always something to bring.
So I don't have a top 3. I have some honorary mentions, and I have just one.
Okay.
That, honestly, just one. So I will say Megan King-Edmonds, Shannon Bedore, the whole Brooks expose, like really exposing who Brooks is on Orange County. Megan did all the legwork. I don't know.
She served her purpose.
She served her purpose. And really just painted this really nice picture for us as viewers to know that Vicky had been dirty johned, and we believed it. So I appreciate what they did there. I will say another one would be, it's noted, but it's not necessarily a receipt, but it has created a wonderful housewife memory for us all. But the bunny, bringing back the bunny, it's a receipt in some ways of I'm returning this. Here's proof of purchase. So that one, but there has never been a moment like Monique's binder. And there will never be a moment like Monique's binder. Like, and we have seen people try to do that. Monica tried to do it with the burn book.
Terrible moment.
I think who brought out the big text message styrofoam thing? I think it was Wendy on Potomac. I don't know. But like, there will never be another moment. It
was the first.
It was the first. It will be the last. It gagged everybody. It put Jessel in her place. She could not retort. She had no response. When she read the phone number, and is that Jamal's number? It is, Andy. Like, it was so good. Pastor Holy Whore. Like, it just, like, there literally has not been anything better. It raised the bar. I don't know what could beat that.
You know what was great? I will agree with I was going to definitely say the bunny, and I was going to say, obviously, Monique's binder. What was so great about it, it was the rollout.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just having a receipt. It's the way that you roll it out.
Mm-hmm.
The binder itself was a sight. There were colored tabs.
It was big.
I think things were laminated.
It was 1.5
There
inch
were
binder.
dividers. It was thick. Then there was what was in it, which we really didn't even dive that deep because Monique's reads were so good. There were so many classic lines. There was something else other than Pastor Holy Whore. But when a moment transcends the Housewives universe, the Bravo universe, and dips in to just pop culture, that is a moment.
Yeah.
And that is why Monique and her binder are in a hall of fame.
Yeah.
The fact that binder actually isn't, like, we should be doing, I hope somebody's listening from Bravo. It just popped into my head.
What should we be doing?
I was at first going to say the binder should be at
BravoCon Museum.
The BravoCon Museum. But instead of that, let's take it to another level. And I love Jessel. And I'm not trying to do this at your expense, but I'd love a reading. And this could be done one or two ways. They do the live readings of scenes, of episodes, which I participated in. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
They could do it that way.
Yeah.
Or it could merely be like a reading corner where you gather around and we just read excerpts. You know, very Crerie from Sex and the City.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I like that.
I like that a lot. Because it is true. We didn't get a lot of information from said binder. Like Monique, like she had tabs. She was ready to flip over to whatever section. We didn't get all the dirt that was in it, but we got enough. But there is more that we need to get out of it.
There's more.
There's more. It was like I could watch that all day, every day.
Imagine if Monique came out, walked to a podium, put on glasses, very Crerie, like I said, Sex and the City style, put on her reading glasses, and said, I'd like to read something from the book, if that's okay with everyone. And then she proceeds to read some of the receipts. Like, I just, like, pick a color.
On edge.
Green. Turns to the green tab. It would be so good.
It would be
so good.
I loved it.
Well, what I loved was doing this. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
In person.
Yeah.
A little gossip, a little mini
corner,
cap.
yes.
You're getting a little bit of everything. It's so much fun to sit down and talk with you.
Same.
We hope you guys have enjoyed it the same way. We will be back here, same time, same place next week. Hope you guys have a lovely week and enjoy.
Bye.